Yo, yo, yo. Ici Sébastien CoRhino, aux commandes d'un vaisseau spatial dont il ne contrôle pas les boutons. Donc, après 23 minutes de stream, il y a un utilisateur sur les quand même plusieurs personnes qui se sont connectées. Et il y en a un qui a osé me dire qu'il n'y avait pas de son. Et c'est cette personne-là qui vient de gagner le premier prix CoRhino. Donc, le premier prix CoRhino, on ne sait pas encore c'est quoi, mais il a été awardé à Janie Boudreau, qui pourrait modifier son nom Facebook si elle veut toujours rester non-binaire. J'ai un problème de pied de micro. Je ne peux pas visser ça là-dessus parce qu'il me manque l'adaptateur qui est dans mon garde-robe là-bas. Bon. Alors, soit que je tiens mon micro comme ça, comme si je donnais un show, ou soit que je vais chercher l'adaptateur là-bas. Voilà, donc ça me fait plaisir de vous accueillir sur mon live stream ce soir. Et donc, enfin, il y a du son. Je ne sais pas si vous voulez que je fasse le stream en anglais ou en français, mais pour l'instant, c'est en français. La première partie est en français. Je vais aller chercher mon... je vais vous laisser en bonne compagnie. Je vous reviens dans 2 minutes. Je prends une petite pause de 2 minutes, puis on continue le live stream. Et voilà, donc je suis allé chercher mon adaptateur. Et oui, Justin Trudeau qui est toujours là quand on a besoin de lui. Donc on a vu une photo de Justin Trudeau sur les médias sociaux aujourd'hui où il était dans un festival de musique en Californie, je pense, ça s'appelle le Coachella ou je sais pas, Coachella. Coachella. En tout cas, whatever. J'ai aucune idée comment on prononce ça, mais ça m'amuse de penser que ça se prononce probablement Coachella. Qu'est-ce que c'est Chila? Et pendant qu'il a banni le plastique à usage unique dans les magasins du Canada, il a bien sûr mangé dans un truc en plastique à usage unique. Il boit son breuvage dans un truc à usage unique sur les médias sociaux. On s'amuse. Donc voilà. Maintenant qu'il y a 5 personnes connectées, est-ce que je fais rejouer mon vidéo? Mon vidéo? Ouais, on fait rejouer le vidéo. Alors voilà. Vous voyez, Sébastien Corriveau va se couper les cheveux. L'original, le vidéo le plus écouté de l'histoire de Sébastien Corrino sur les internets. Non, sur YouTube, parce que sur les internets, ça dépend. Non, sur TikTok, j'ai une vidéo qui a plus de vues que ça. On checkera peut-être ça plus tard. Et voilà. Donc, on peut voir qu'il y a 16 ans, à Sherbrooke, on avait du compost. Donc, incroyable. Aujourd'hui même, en 2026, c'est lundi 13, le pire jour pour Garfield. On va refaire la même chose. Ah, boy. C'est une toute petite couette qu'on coupe aujourd'hui. Ah! C'est pour me couper une oreille. Et voilà. Ah! Alors, la petite couette, ici, pour faire des rallonges ou des perruques pour des personnes, plutôt que de mettre ça dans le compost, on pourrait faire des perruques. Voilà, je me suis coupé les cheveux. Ça fait quelques semaines que je trouvais que j'avais les cheveux longs. J'avais envie de raccourcir ça. Ce que j'aime avec cette technique que j'ai développée, c'est que ça me fait un court à l'arrière. Donc, c'est très frais pour l'été, pour le printemps. Et plus long à l'avant, ça me donne un petit look là, un peu bum à la Kurt Cobain. Et tout le monde sait que on trouve ça joli, les garçons, avec la petite coupe à la Kurt Cobain. Peut-être que je pourrais me donner un petit coup sur la barbe aussi, mais je ne ferai pas ça sur mon live maintenant. Donc, voilà. Où est-ce qu'on s'en va avec tout ça? On est à Terrebonne, on a une élection partielle avec 47 candidats ou 48 candidats. Aujourd'hui ou en fin de semaine, la presse nous a chié dessus, comme d'habitude, en nous disant que nous dérangeons la démocratie, que oui, il faut être pour la réforme du mode de scrutin, mais non, 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 cette technique n'est pas la bonne. Donc, il existerait, semble-t-il, des meilleures techniques pour obtenir la réforme du scrutin au Canada. J'aimerais bien voir ça parce que, honnêtement, parlons-en de la réforme du scrutin. Donc, la réforme du scrutin, c'est une grosse cochonnerie qui. Notre mode de scrutin, en fait, c'est très simple. Il était très bien quand il a été fabriqué, à l'époque où il a été fait, c'est-à-dire autour de 1707 en Angleterre rurale. Donc, notre système de scrutin que nous utilisons présentement au Canada a été construit il y a plus de 300 ans. Une petite gorgée d'eau, ça va faire du bien. Il y a plus de 300 ans en Angleterre rurale. Donc, c'est un système représentatif qui permettait aux gens de toutes les communautés en Angleterre d'aller se réunir à Londres ensemble, de discuter des choses de l'État et de ramener les idées dans leur circonscription, de consulter les gens et de revenir au Parlement à Londres avec ce que les gens dans leur communauté avaient réfléchi et de débattre et de faire des lois ensemble comme ça. C'est de cette façon-là que notre système de scrutin a été réfléchi. Et puis, bien sûr, si on se remet à l'époque, c'était souvent des gens connus dans leur communauté qui étaient élus, puis qui allaient représenter leur communauté dans le Parlement de Londres. C'était vraiment comme ça que ça fonctionnait. Aujourd'hui, 300 ans plus tard, on est plutôt rendu dans un Canada urbain plutôt qu'une Angleterre rurale. Donc déjà, ça fait une... Ah, je pense que ton partage d'écran ne fonctionne pas. Bon, ben là, fait chier. Non, mais tout fait chier. Mais merci, Jenny Boudreau. Jenny Boo, merci de me signifier que mon partage d'écran n'a pas fonctionné. Donc, comme un gros débutant, je n'arrive pas à faire ce Facebook Live comme du monde. Mais merci d'être là, à ceux qui sont là. Alors, sauvons le mode de scrutin. Oui, dans les commentaires, on me dit sauvons le mode de scrutin. Effectivement, on va le sauver, le mode de scrutin. Et où est-ce qu'on s'en va avec le mode de scrutin? Dans le fond, dans un Canada urbain, les partis politiques, les chefs sont beaucoup plus importants qu'à l'époque et il y a beaucoup moins d'importance qui sont mises sur les députés, les actuels députés, donc les candidats aux élections. La plupart des gens vont voter pour un parti politique ou pour un chef, un ou une chef. Et c'est là qu'on est rendu en 2026. J'ai un candidat qui m'a déjà dit, je croise régulièrement des candidats pendant les campagnes électorales, je jase avec eux. Il m'a dit un très, très, très bon candidat, très fort dans son milieu, ça va aller chercher 10 à 15 du vote maximum. Il dit 15, c'est vraiment un excellent candidat. 10, c'est un très, très bon candidat. Il dit sinon, le reste, c'est la campagne nationale. C'est la campagne du parti politique, c'est la campagne du chef, de la chef qui fait en sorte qu'on a un député bleu, rouge, orange, vert, jaune, brun dans une circonscription. Donc, depuis plus de 150 ans, le Canada n'a élu que 2 partis politiques, c'est-à-dire les rouges puis les bleus, qui se sont toujours alternés le pouvoir. Ça n'a jamais été ni l'orange, ni les verts, ni les bruns, ni un autre parti politique. Il y a toujours eu seulement les libéraux ou les conservateurs qui ont eu le gouvernement à Ottawa. Donc, nous, tout ce qu'on dit en se présentant à cette masse de candidats dans Terrebonne, c'est, premièrement, la réforme du mode de scrutin, c'est une chose connue, c'est une chose qui est sue par le Parlement depuis au minimum les années 60-70. Donc, ça fait environ 50 à 60 ans qu'on sait qu'on a besoin de réformer le mode de scrutin au Canada. Et il n'y a personne il n'y a personne dans les experts, on va dire, dans les stratèges politiques, il y en a qui sont contre la réforme, mais dans les experts en démocratie, il n'y a personne qui dit qu'on devrait garder ce mode de scrutin-là. C'est entendu qu'on devrait avoir un autre mode de scrutin. Et tous les partis politiques, sauf peut-être les conservateurs, l'ont promis à un moment ou à un autre, et même plusieurs fois, donc de réformer le mode de scrutin. Donc, c'est quelque chose qui devrait être fait au Canada au moins depuis les années 70, donc depuis au moins 50 ans. Fait que le fait qu'on soit encore aujourd'hui en train de parler de ça, premièrement, c'est dérangeant. Et ça serait le fun d'avoir un co-animateur avec qui discuter. Mais aujourd'hui, j'ai fait la technique Olivier d'Amour. La technique Olivier d'Amour, en fait, c'est de peser sur record puis d'y aller. On fonce dans le tas. Donc aujourd'hui, j'ai pesé sur live, j'ai cliqué sur le piton, puis je suis là. Si vous avez des questions, mettez ça en commentaire. If you want me to switch to English, tell me in commentary. I don't know who's online right now. Donc, je sais que j'ai Janibou et Imilashable sur le live stream et je sais que ces 2 personnes-là parlent français. Donc, je continue en français, but if you want me to speak English, please tell me in the chat. I can switch to English. Qu'est-ce que je voulais vous parler aujourd'hui? French, please. J'avais préparé un segment sur les fruits. J'avais préparé un segment sur le parti Rhinocéros. En fait, je veux fermer ma carrière politique. Aujourd'hui, c'est officiellement ma dernière campagne électorale. Je vais très certainement arrêter de me présenter aux élections après cette élection-ci afin de me concentrer sur ma carrière artistique, ma carrière musicale. Donc, Sébastien CoRhino, je me cherche toujours un nom d'artiste. Est-ce que ça devrait être Sébastien Corriveau, Sébastien CoRhino, Sebastian CoRhino, CoRivo, Sebco, Inc. What's gonna be my artist name? I don't know yet, but I have a lot of ideas. We talk about that a little bit later. Je voulais vous parler de Rhinocéros. Donc, on va sortir les archives du parti Rhinocéros, puis on va les ouvrir ensemble. J'ai dans mon classeur des beaux cartables. Il manque de lumière, hein? J'aurais pu mettre plus de lumière. Des beaux cartables Rouge Canada. Donc, et c'est toutes mes archives Rhinocéros que je pensais qu'on aurait pu traverser pour voir qu'est-ce qui a été drôle, qu'est-ce qu'on a fait, des anecdotes sur le parti Rhinocéros. J'ai été presque 20 ans à l'intérieur du parti Rhinocéros. Donc, depuis 2007, en fait, je suis dans le parti Rhinocéros. J'ai été candidat pour la première fois en 2008. Et j'ai aussi été chef du parti Rhinocéros pendant 10 années. Donc, où est-ce qu'on s'en va avec ça? C'est pas une très. Ça, c'était pas très intéressant. Monsieur Sébastien Corriveau, Sébastien Corrhino, demande de renseignements importants, nom des personnes autorisées. Bon, fait que ça, c'est un papier électoral d'Élection Canada. Je l'ai gardé juste parce que c'était du beau papier, puis que je trouvais ça important de me souvenir un jour quand on va être rendu en 2050, puis que tout va se passer sur les écrans, à quel point dans le passé on avait du beau papier parfois. Oh, ici je pense qu'on a quelque chose d'intéressant. Ah, ben, une lettre du Parti Rhinocéros du Canada. Donc, si vous recevez cette lettre, c'est une bonjour, hi. Bonjour, hi. Merci d'avoir acheté votre carte de membre du Parti Rhinocéros du Canada. Il m'en reste une petite pile de ces feuilles-là, donc il en reste quelques-unes. The party exists since 1963, making us 50 years strong. Please enjoy this lifetime membership card forever. 2018 will be a historic election. 2019 sera la renaissance du rhinocéros. Si vous vous souvenez des années 70 et 80, vous avez le droit de trouver le rhino plate depuis qu'il est réapparu en 2006. Mais le rhinocéros est un animal lent, qui a une mauvaise vue et un mauvais odorat, et qui bouge, et un très bon odorat, et qui bouge rapidement seulement en cas de danger. Alors voilà, il y a danger en la demeure. En 2019 sera la première élection de l'histoire du Canada à être entièrement gratuite pour tous les candidats. Donc, auparavant, avant 2019, ça coûtait 1 000 $ à être candidat à une élection fédérale. Et c'était un dépôt de 1 000 $, puis ils nous le remboursaient. Puis avant ça, c'était un 200 $ de frais. Ça coûtait 200 $, puis ils ne te le remboursaient pas. Donc ça a été amené en cours et la personne, Kieran Suzvich, a gagné contre Élection Canada, contre le gouvernement du Canada. Que nous réserve 2019? Une plateforme complète, une tournée du Canada, des candidats partout d'ouest en est, des nouveaux vidéos et des idées folles. Aidez-nous dans notre recherche de candidats. Merci d'être devenu membre du Parti Rhinocéros. Et c'est signé Sébastien CoRhino. Très belle lettre. Quoi dire sur la campagne électorale de 2019? Oui, effectivement, je voulais faire une campagne complète d'est en ouest. Je voulais traverser le Canada dans une espèce de tour bus, puis une petite van, là, un petit camper, puis avoir une équipe avec moi. Puis même, j'avais eu l'idée qu'on aurait pu avoir un spectacle, un genre de cabaret avec nous. Finalement, ce n'est pas arrivé, mais on a eu une très, très belle élection. Dans le fond, il y avait un trou entre Toronto puis l'Alberta où je pense que j'avais aucun candidat entre les deux. Puis j'avais comme quelques candidats sur la côte ouest, mais vraiment pas beaucoup, en Colombie-Britannique. Puis j'avais pas personne pour m'organiser des shows là, à Winnipeg, à Vancouver. Donc, finalement, ce que j'ai fait, c'est que je me suis payé 2 avions en mode pauvre sac à dos. Je suis parti de Montréal. J'ai pris le train jusqu'à Halifax. J'ai fait un débat à Halifax avec les autres chefs des petits partis. Finalement, on était juste 3, mais tous les chefs de tous les petits partis, et on était 21. 21 partis politiques, moins les 5 gros, ça fait qu'il en restait, ou 6 gros. Il en restait, non, 5 gros. Il restait 16 chefs invités. On est allé faire un débat à Halifax à 3. C'était bien le fun. Et ça, c'était assez comique, là. C'était un gars qui s'appelle Steven quelque chose qui avait organisé ça. Et lui, c'était le chef d'un parti un peu comme d'extrême droite bizarre. J'ai dit, bah, on va y aller pareil. Puis finalement, le chemin pour se rendre là, c'était à Halifax, mais c'était comme un petit chemin de campagne, puis c'était full sinueux. Puis tu rentrais dans le bois, puis là, tu prenais des chemins, puis là, c'était comme une place. Tu avais l'impression que tu t'en allais dans son chalet, puis tu allais te faire découper, là. J'avais vraiment. Je me suis mis à avoir la frousse en me rendant là. Mais heureusement, on était 2 personnes. J'étais pas tout seul. J'étais avec mon candidat de Halifax qui conduisait la voiture. Et merci Nick. Et j'ai texté des amis avec l'adresse de l'endroit où on se rendait en disant je m'en vais là. Si tu n'entends pas parler de moi demain, si je suis porté disparu, sache que je suis là avec tel gars puis tel gars. Bon. Finalement, c'était pas si pire. Il y avait le gars du Parti libertarien, qui est un Albertain, qui était venu au débat. Il y avait le gars du parti un peu weirdo, puis il y avait moi. Et puis, on a eu un beau débat. Rendu aux 3/4 du débat, ben, j'avais comme stagé ça, mais j'ai fait comme je suis tanné de votre débat, vous débattez en gens sérieux puis de droite. J'ai crissé mon camp du débat. Passez une belle soirée. Merci, bonsoir. Puis j'ai crissé mon camp. Donc, je voulais juste faire un petit stun dans leur débat. De toute façon, il ne devait pas être écouté par beaucoup de monde, un peu comme ce live stream actuellement, où j'ai 2 amis qui habitent à quelques maisons de chez nous plus bas et une 3e personne inconnue qui écoute le live stream. Donc, voilà. Oui, un libertarien. Et ensuite, de Halifax, je me suis payé un premier avion. Bon, on est toujours en 2019. Je suis dans ma campagne électorale de 2019. Je pars de Halifax et je m'en vais en Alberta. Et vu que j'avais pris un billet d'avion crissement cheap, j'avais une escale de 12 heures à London, Ontario. Et ce qui est cool, c'est que j'avais un candidat à Hamilton, puis qu'à London, Ontario, tu étais à peu près à 1 heure de Toronto. Fait que là, j'ai fait comme 1, 2, 3, une pierre deux coups. Non, je n'étais pas allé à Toronto, j'étais allé à Toronto en revenant. OK. Fait que mon candidat de Hamilton, il est venu me chercher à l'aéroport à London. On a passé la journée ensemble et c'était vraiment très drôle. Et on a. Est-ce que le screen sharing va fonctionner ce coup-là? Ça serait bien parce qu'on a eu une. Utiliser. Bon. Autoriser. Ouvrir les réglages système, confidentialité, sécurité, oui. Mot de passe, patate 1, 2, 3. Modifier les réglages, oui. Firefox pourrait ne pas être en mesure d'enregistrer le contenu de votre écran jusqu'à sa fermeture et sa réouverture. Donc, j'ai le choix entre scraper le live ou, bon. Eh bien, je pense qu'on ne l'aura pas. Fenêtre, celle-là. Partager cette fenêtre. Je pense qu'on va l'avoir. Est-ce qu'on l'a? Est-ce qu'on l'a? Est-ce que vous voyez mon écran partagé? Donc, on va écrire CoRhino Canvassing Hamilton 2019. On s'en va. Ah oui, lui. Bon. Ah, va chier. No, I don't want to log in. Non, on ne voit pas là, mon partage d'écran. Et en plus, l'article est derrière un paywall. Ah non, il est pas derrière. Je suis capable de le voir. Sinon, tu peux mettre la vidéo sur ton téléphone. Ah ben. Ah, mais c'est pas fou. Pourquoi pas? Pourquoi pas? Tout est possible. J'aimerais ça que ça marche. Oh, tu fais chier. Bon. Je pense que ça ne fonctionne pas. Non, ce ne sera pas possible. Présente-le sur ton téléphone. Vous avez des nouvelles notifications. Hey, c'est compliqué la vie, là. Si je vous mets la vidéo sur mon téléphone, ça le fait? Bon. Fête surprise de... OK. Je ne lirai pas ça live sur mon Facebook Live, même si c'est juste 3 personnes. Faut pas que ce soit la fête à un de vous autres qui s'en vient bientôt. Mais je pense pas que cette personne-là écoute présentement. Ni des membres de sa famille. Bon. Hamilton, CoRhino. Donc, mon candidat de Hamilton vient me chercher à l'aéroport de London. Il me ramène à Hamilton, puis il a même prévu rencontrer un journaliste. Fait que là, je suis vraiment excité. Puis il me dit, on va aller faire un peu de porte-à-porte. Puis après ça, fait que là, j'ai dit, du porte-à-porte. Je dis, non, on va aller voir le monde. Là, moi, je fais jamais de porte-à-porte dans une campagne électorale. Je vais me crisser sur le coin de rue le plus passant de la ville, puis je vais parler avec le monde dans la rue direct là, en mode bain de foule. Fait que là, j'ai dit, y a-tu un mini-pot à Hamilton? Il y avait une belle journée ensoleillée. Là, c'était le matin full tôt. J'avais pris l'avion à Halifax, là, vraiment tôt parce que j'avais pogné le vol le plus cheap qui allait m'amener en Alberta le soir à minuit. Et donc, je cherche mon truc et voilà. Et finalement, le journaliste vient nous rejoindre au mini-pot. Donc, fait que là, c'est vraiment trop cool parce qu'on a un journaliste qui fait un photo-reportage sur nous dans un mini-pot. C'est genre malade. L'article est vraiment très bon, ici sur le Hamilton Spectator. Puis, c'est bizarre, j'ai réussi à l'afficher sur mon ordi, mais là, je ne suis pas capable de l'afficher sur mon téléphone. Il fait la patente du paywall. Ah, fait chier. Et ce que j'ai vraiment trouvé drôle, c'est quand l'article est sorti plus tard dans l'après-midi ou le lendemain, il était écrit le parti Rhinocéros s'en allait faire du porte-à-porte, mais finalement, ils se sont ramassés au mini-pot. Moi, je n'étais pas au courant qu'on allait faire du porte-à-porte, mais c'est ça que mon candidat il avait dit aux journalistes. Et moi, je voulais aller jouer au mini-pot. Fait que ça l'a donné un super beau vidéo. Le journaliste a fait un petit vidéo avec son iPhone qui a crissé sur YouTube. Et le vidéo est toujours là et est très, très, très bon. You have been selected. Merci au Globe and Mail de m'avoir sélectionné pour que je puisse lire l'article qui parle de moi pour seulement 1$. Vous voyez en bas que je suis au mini-pot avec mes culottes jaunes puis mon veston rouge. On le voit. OK. On l'a vu pendant une demi-seconde. Il est écrit Holly Molly. The joke. Non, The joke is over. C'est un autre article. Mais j'ai 2 écrans. OK, c'est juste la photo. On ne voit pas l'article, on voit juste une photo. En tout cas, vous allez voir la photo de moi qui joue au mini-pot. Est-ce que vous voyez quelque chose? Moi, je ne vois plus rien. J'espère que vous avez vu ce qui s'est passé. Bon, un update électoral dans le chat. Donc, 284 votes validés. Ça veut dire qu'ils sont déjà capables de compter les votes, même si nous sommes venus en tant que groupe. You have been destroying the democracy, guys. On est en train de détruire complètement la démocratie canadienne avec votre histoire. Donc, Holly Molly, National Party Leader, opts for mini-pot hover canvassing in Hamilton. C'était cœur, hein? C'était vraiment un bon article. Donc, on a les résultats électoraux qui s'affichent dans le chat. Moi, je ne suis pas connecté là-dessus, pas en tout. J'étais parti sur une soirée de folie rhinocérique. Je rappelle à tout le monde, if you want me to speak English, please tell me in the chat. I don't know who is connected right now to the live stream. And I'm speaking French right now, but I can switch to English if needed. Donc, je suis toujours dans mes dossiers Rouge Canada. Donc, ici, on a des documents d'élection, on s'en fout. Oh, j'ai un dossier ici qui s'appelle Rhino Propaganda. Rhino Propaganda. On va regarder qu'est-ce qu'il y a là-dedans. Oh! On a des beaux rhinocéros. Ça, c'est un pochoir. Donc, quand on a besoin de faire une pancarte, on a un pochoir ici qui est prêt et qui sert à faire des choses comme ça. Quand on a besoin de mettre un rhinocéros sur Justin Trudeau, quand on a besoin de mettre un rhinocéros sur Justin Trudeau, on peut mettre ça là. Donc ici, oh yeah, on a un calendrier Parti Rhinocéros Party, now with a new dealer, Sébastien CoRhino. Avec deux R. Hey, ça, c'est vintage en esti. Ça n'a pas resté longtemps avec deux R. Pour faire un peu comme CoRhino. CoRhino. Et on a ici un billet du Loto-Sénat. Donc, courez la chance de devenir sénateur du Canada grâce à l'Auto-Sénat. Donc, c'est un billet à gratter que vous pouvez gratter et devenir sénateur. Alors, si le parti Rhinocéros avait été élu au pouvoir, on aurait eu l'Auto-Sénat. Donc, c'était Ben 97 qui avait fait ce billet de l'Auto-Sénat, une magnifique œuvre graphique que j'adore. Merci Ben d'avoir fait ça. Alors, bon, voilà, plan 2015-3015. Privatiser la reine pour save on taxes. Make Chiac la seule langue officielle du Canada, tabarnak. Donc, la gaz à work pas. À un moment donné, j'étais où? En tout cas, je sors. Ça marche pas. Je suis pas capable de mettre du gaz. Fait que je rentre dans la station-service, puis le gars, il me dit la gas work pas. Fait que là, je fais OK, bon. La gas work pas. Fait que là, je ressors. Il y a un gars qui arrive en 4 roues. Puis là, je dis ah, je vais l'essayer. Fait que là, il arrive. Puis là, je dis la gas work pas. Puis il me regarde, puis il dit pas en tout. Là, je fais ah, c'est ça. C'est de même, ça se dit par ici. La gas work pas. Puis sinon, une autre bonne phrase en chiac que je connais, c'est t'as-tu vu le beau deer que Dad shooté? T'as-tu vu le beau deer que Dad a shooté? Donc, voilà. Moi, ce que j'aime du chiac, en fait, c'est d'utiliser un mot, un verbe, par exemple, un verbe en anglais, mais de mettre une finale en français. Comme quand on dit nous shooterons. Donc, shoot, to shoot, mais là, tu peux pousser ça, mais à d'autres verbes. Pas... Ici, je couperai un peu plus court. Un petit peu plus court de ce côté-là. De ce côté-là, c'est bien, je pense. Pour ceux qui ont manqué le début du live stream, je me suis coupé les cheveux au début. Donc, construire un two-way pipeline entre le Canada et l'Europe pour import-export de pétrole. Bon, ça c'était dans le plan 2015-2015. Dans le fond, mon idée ici, là, c'était de dire on va construire un pipeline de pétrole entre le Canada et l'Europe, mais le pipeline, ça va être un pont. Puis sur ce pont-là, on va aussi rajouter une voie ferrée, puis une autoroute, une autoroute à 4 voies. Donc, tu peux partir en char de la Gaspésie, puis t'en aller direct au Portugal. C'est quand même intéressant. Euh, c'était ça mon idée. Mais, donc, ça, c'était plus autour de 2415, peut-être, quelque chose comme ça. Malheureusement, je n'ai pas été élu, donc le plan 2015-2015 n'a pas été fait. On voulait aussi avoir un gouvernement très stable avec des élections au Milan. Donc, 2015, avec un gouvernement rhinocéros majoritaire, aurait été de la dernière. Ben, la prochaine élection aurait été en 3015. Donc, c'était d'offrir des gouvernements stables aux Canadiens et Canadiennes parce qu'on sait qu'en ce moment, une chose qui compte beaucoup dans une élection et qui compte beaucoup pour le mode de scrutin actuel, c'est d'avoir un gouvernement stable. Les gens demandent ça, évidemment, les gens demandent ça. Et les chroniqueurs dans les journaux aussi beaucoup. Changer toutes les questions de Statistique Canada par des questions à oui ou non. Réformer le Sénat avec le biais de l'auto-Sénat, donc en ayant des gens random qui sont élus pour des sièges au Sénat. Donc, faut-il le rappeler, en ce moment, le Sénat au Canada, c'est un poste élu à vie jusqu'à ce que tu aies 75 ans, parce qu'après 75 ans, tu n'as plus le droit d'être sénateur. Et tu as un salaire de autour de 130 000 par année, plus des allocations de voyage, peut-être autour de, je ne sais pas, je dirais autour de 25 000 par année, mais ça change, ces choses-là. Et aussi pour la plupart des sénateurs, sauf quelques-uns, et ça inclut aussi des frais pour avoir un appartement de fonction à Ottawa. Donc, les frais sont... Ça, c'est intéressant pour les députés aussi, là, sauf les 10 députés qui habitent dans la région de Ottawa-Gatineau et puis les sénateurs de cette région-là, je ne sais pas combien ils sont. Je suis en train de couper un fruit. Donc, ça fait partie de ma carrière artistique qui s'en vient bientôt. Je vais lancer mon site web tout à l'heure. Vous allez voir mon nouveau site web. Et puis, je vais couper des fruits et chanter des chansons. Donc, voilà ma carrière artistique Aujourd'hui, on déguste une poire asiatique qui est très, très, très mûre. C'est un fruit qui ne m'intéressait pas du tout il n'y a pas très longtemps, mais qui, aujourd'hui, je trouve magnifique. Donc, on est ici au Sénat. Et puis, comment ça fonctionne les allocations pour un logement à Ottawa pour les sénateurs et les députés? Donc, 343 députés, il y en a une dizaine qui n'ont pas accès à cette allocation-là. Donc, il y a 333 députés à Ottawa présentement qui ont accès à une allocation de logement. C'est un montant fixe qui se font donner par le Parlement d'Ottawa. Ils peuvent faire ce qu'ils veulent avec cet argent-là. Donc, quelques-uns vont louer un logement, mais certains vont acheter un logement et rembourser leur hypothèque avec leur allocation de logement. Et à la fin de leur mandat, ils ont un logement à Ottawa qu'ils peuvent revendre et se crisser ça dans les poches. Question: Can an independent John Francis O'Flynn, who garnered 12 votes in the LaSalle et Verdun by-election match, or improve on his write-in ballot of Terrebonne, asking for a friend? So John Francis O'Flynn has really good friends. Um, one of his friends is YouTuber John O'Flynn 5691, which is asking a very important question for his friend, and which is it possible to have an equal number of votes in two different by elections in Quebec? Well, I would say there's very, very good chances that you get an equal number of votes in La Sarre et Verdun and in Terrebonne because those two riding are pretty close. I mean, like less than 60 or 75 kilometers apart between these two ridings. So having 12 votes in Verdun and having 12 votes in Terrebonne is very likely. But other scenarios are also possible. For example, there's a write-in ballot, but we also had a write-in ballot in Pierre Poilievre riding in Alberta. And what happened is that a lot of candidates got votes, and a lot of candidates got more than one vote, up to 12, I think. So who knows? Maybe someone in Terrebonne, Quebec, will write John Francis O'Flynn or just write J. O'Flynn, as long as the last name is recognizable. But even if there's mistake in the last name, it will be counted if the intention of the elector is clearly um, visible. So that's how the votes are going to be counted tonight. And we don't have screen sharing working right now. I would love to show you the live result or the result from the previous by-election in Pierre Poilievre riding in Alberta, but it doesn't work. That's fucking shit. Can I take 5-minute break and come back with a functional screen sharing application? Or maybe people would just disconnect and never come back and we have no more stream. Plan 2015, 3015. So I was not elected, but here's what I would have done: tax the black market by putting a cashier at the exit of the market. Very simple. Black market is billions and billions and billions of revenues in Canada every year. And no government has been strong enough for 150 years to put properly gather taxes on the black market. All the money that is lost in this thing, and the only thing you have to do is to put a cashier on the exit. So simple. So why has no government done that? Why did the liberals and the conservative never do that? I don't know. And they even legalize cannabis, but the conservative was not even agree with it. But now that there's millions and billions of money coming from the tax, why don't they tax heroin? Why don't they tax prostitution? Why don't they tax illegal services you give to your neighbors? The black market is still very strong, and the Rhino Party, elected with a plan 2015-3015, would have gone through that problem. Oh, John Francis O'Flynn received 0 votes in Battle River Crowfoot. It is more strongly possible he would get 0 once again in Terrebonne. No, I would go with 2. 2 is a perfect number because it means that someone in Terrebonne said, "Oh, this guy has a Irish name. I should vote for him even if I don't know him." You know, and the election in Pierre Poilievre riding was more than 200 candidates, and now we only have 47, I think, maybe 48. And people in Quebec, they like the Irish sounding name. They like it. So very good chances is gonna work for you tonight, Mr. John, Miss or Mrs. or non-binary John O'Flynn. So. Uh, 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 uh. Where am I going? Screen sharing still not working. Oh, that's a very strong proposition in my plan 2015-3015. I don't know why I never been elected. Look at that. The last one on this paper. Double the salaries and cut taxes in half so the government still get the same amount of money. Genius. So every Canadian gets double their fucking salary. We can go through any housing crisis, any prices hikes in the grocery store. I could see that coming in 2015 before it was a thing. So CoRhino, dealer, supreme dealer of the Rhinoceros Party of Canada, knew what was coming. He said it loud and it didn't get elected. So, tant pis pour vous, hostie de Canadien à marde. Si vous m'aviez élu, vous auriez eu un gouvernement pas mal plus hot, mais là, vous êtes pogné avec des gouvernements de marde parce que vous avez voté pour ces gens-là. So, fuck you, Canada. If you had elected me, we would have a very different Canada today. And I still have a few of these pamphlets here in this folder. What do we have here? A few of these are available. So if you send me bitcoins, I can send that to you by mail. So 1 Bitcoin each. I have about 12, maybe 8. Yeah, I would go more with 8. So anybody that wants to send me 8 Bitcoins, I send you 8 of this pamphlet, and job's done. I'm gonna start my music career, my carrière en musique. So, have you heard about the new band Angine de Poitrine? That's a funny thing. It's a very, very funny thing. Angine de poitrine. When it's got released, the key EXP video of Angine de poitrine, I have a few friends, old friends from high school or cégep, université, whatever, old friends that just sent me a text message and they said, "Hey, is it you inside Angine de poitrine suit?" And I was like, "No, no, it's not me. You know, I don't have technical enough for being able to play the drums or the guitar like they do, but thanks, you know." So a lot of people thought it was me because I'm a musician first thing first. You're inside my studio right now. You don't see it because I've put it in my yellow and red wall, but I'm a musician, and their art is very close to what I do. You know, it's very close to my mind, to my self being. So, angine de poitrine. Mais le plus drôle, c'est quand j'étais allé à Pâques, when I go to Easter in my family. I go to Easter in my family, and then my sibling is there, and they say, "Oh, you're there, Sébastien? I thought you were in the Angine de Poitrine suit and you were on tour right now." I was like, my own sibling thought it was me in the Angine de Poitrine suit. That was pretty funny. So what I've got to say about this is that I really like this band. I've seen them in show last year, so I was a fan before everybody else was a fan. And in fact, that I've got my passport ready. If they want me in the band, I just got a brand new passport. I'm ready to go on tour in Germany. Let's go. Let's go to Deutschland. No, but Angine de Poitrine, that's the funny thing is that the guitarist, in fact, is a friend, and we've played music a lot together. I've played with this person. Its name is now Kun. Kun. I've need to practice not to say its real name of this person. And Kun, great guitarist. We've been on tour in Europe twice, and so I'm very very happy that he's having this success. It's going beyond what I was thinking. You know, when I saw I saw them when they were building this this double guitar, double neck with quarter tones, and I was like, "Oh, this is great!" You know, I was like, I fucking love quarter tones, and they were like building this instrument, and I said, "I'm gonna write a song for you, you know, one day," and blah blah. And where was I going with that? So I did my shit in music. I did play music. I did my absurd politic things, and now they just released their new album. So I put that yesterday night, volume 2, Angine de Poitrine volume 2, and just start the record. It begins, grosse petite ligne de bass, and then Sébastien, Sébastien. I was like, what the fuck is happening right now? And so the first song of their new album, Fabien, just says my name 3 times in a row. So I was there in my living room yesterday night listening to the album for the first time. It was released 9 days ago, but I just didn't pay attention to listen to it as soon as, you know, whatever. Just friends release music and you listen to it like a few weeks or a few months later. It happens, you know. And I was like, what the hell? I listened to the song a second times just to make sure it was really saying my name. And I was like, thank you, thank you. It's a tribute to my artwork. So I was convinced that Fabien was named after me, not Fabien, because Fabien is the name of someone else they work with up there and whatever. And but it was a tribute because the title of the song is a tribute to someone else they work with, and I was like, okay, Sebastien is me, it's me, it's the absurd politician, is the absurd maker of artworks. I have here my one of my tableaux also. You can buy it. It's in bitcoins. It's a bird made out of Tim Hortons things. It's a very 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 nice tableau. It's named Oiseau granivore 1, aka also known as Gluten Lover 2022. Il y a une facture de la cantine en arrière. Fait que c'est un très 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 beau tableau. If you have bitcoins you need to spend, I can give you a receipt, a bill, and I can sell you this artwork. I have also this one. So of course you have the Tim Hortons fishes swimming. And here it is, the little crab. You see the little crab? It's Sébastien. Sébastien from Fabien is me and is the little crab there. And is also another Sébastien because yesterday night I was very excited to be part of this song, but I know that I'm not the only Sébastien inside Angine de Poitrine, but the triangle, Angine de Poitrine, there's 3 sides on the triangle, and one of the sides is me. The 2 other Sébastien are some other Sébastien. You will meet or not if they choose to stay anonymous. I choose not to stay anonymous. Résultat électoral dans Terrebonne. Electoral results in Terrebonne. Donc, nous avons présentement Danica Bow qui a un vote, qui est la seule candidate indépendante qui a un vote. Tous les autres candidats n'en ont aucun. Il y a présentement 7 boîtes de scrutin qui ont été ouvertes. Un seul vote sur 7 boîtes. On va vraiment se faire payer la passe par les petits Québécois frus qui ne sont pas allés voter pour nous. Il y a 211 boîtes à ouvrir quand même. Et j'aimerais remercier tout le monde qui a participé à cette élection partielle, que ce soit en étant candidat, en étant agent officiel. Donc, pour la première fois, on a présenté une multitude d'agents officiels plutôt que d'avoir seulement un agent officiel qui fait le travail pour tous les candidats. Donc, merci à tous les candidats. Danica Bow, Alex Banks, Sophia Burden, Myriam Beaulieu, Jenny Boudreau, Jenny Cartwright, Nicolas Champagne, Jaël Champagne-Garot, Sébastien CoRhino, Jason Cohen, Garrett Dacher, Geneviève Dorval, Samuel Ducharme, Isaac Dupont, Elisabeth Dupuis, Michael Dick, Alexandra Engering, Laurie Gobble, Emily Goose, Anthony Hamill, Jack Jean-Louis, Chris Kowalchuk, Christophe Krzinski, Joseph-Alain Mathieu Lavaux, Jocelyn Leblanc-Courchaine, Marc Mouter, du parti Rhinocéros, mais il est dans notre gang pareil. John Francis O'Flynn, qui est sur le live stream. Lana Paulson, Samuel Pignodoli, Lajos Polia, Spencer Rocky, Cale Schaeffer, Miles René Laurent Saint-Pierre, qui est le nom le plus long qui était sur le bulletin de vote en Alberta, dans Battle River Crowfoot. Et Miles René Laurent Saint-Pierre, malgré le fait que c'est lui qui avait le nom le plus long sur le bulletin de vote, a eu, si je me souviens bien, 2 votes. Donc, il y a eu des votes, en tout cas. Ça fait que c'était quand même très comique de voir que des gens avaient pris le temps d'écrire ce nom-là, parce que je rappelle que le bulletin de vote de plus de 200 noms qui a été utilisé en Alberta était un bulletin de vote blanc. Donc, c'est un petit papier blanc, environ de cette grosseur-là, sur lequel tu dois écrire le nom du candidat. Il est peut-être un peu plus gros que ça. En fait, je ne l'ai pas vu en vrai. Mais en fait, il est pareil comme le bulletin de vote qui est utilisé dans le vote postal. Donc, ouais, il est à peu près de cette grosseur-là, en fait. Ouais, c'est ça. Alors, c'est à peu près la grosseur d'un écran de téléphone. Mais mon téléphone est vieux parce que les nouveaux sont beaucoup plus gros. Les nouveaux téléphones. Pascal Saint-Amand, Julie Saint-Amand, Justin Steinberg, Viviane Unger, Brian Wong, Alan Weinberg. Alors, merci, Dankeschön, thank you d'être sur le bulletin de vote. On a 4 personnes sur le stream. Est-ce que vous voulez que je continue en français? Do you want me to switch to English? You tell me. Moi, en fait, j'avais rien préparé. I wanted to do 1 hour. It's been more than 1 hour, but if you like it, I can continue to talk. It's the best podcast I've never done in my life because I have fruits. Anglais, please. Okay. I'm going to switch to English for my friend John O'Flynn. John Francis O'Flynn, who's a candidate. I don't know you, sorry. Maybe I don't think we've met, and my mind is full of things. What can we talk? Do you have questions? Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un qui a des questions? Do you have questions on the Rhino Party, the Reform the voting system, the whatever what election process in general? I've been leader of the Rhino Party for 10 years, and I've been a candidate for 19 years. Coucou. And there's a lot of things I would like to talk. I could talk about the voting, the parliament, the medias, especially the media. This is one of the annoying thing with the medias is that you get calls. You get calls from journalists, and then you talk with the journalist for like 20 minutes on the phone, and you're like, I had a very good conversation with them. That was great. I had time to explain my things, and the journalists were like, yeah, okay, well, oh man, oh, I agree with that thing, blah blah. And you open the paper on the next morning. I think I have one. Oh no. You open the paper and you're like, what the fuck? Oh, a few independents have votes right now. Samuel Ducharme, Danica, Laurie Gobble, Marc Mouter, Parti Rhinocéros. They all have a few votes, or at least one. Marc Mouter, 4 votes. So, no, that was a good article because Blair Elliott did a really good long article on me. But protest group eyes Montreal by-election, longest ballot. So that's the National Post. Longest ballot ran 77 candidates in Toronto vote last month. Brian Pacifium. Brian called me a few times. It's a really nice person. But sometimes even there's really nice journalists. They want to talk about something, but they don't have the space to do it. So I remember. I'm pretty sure this interview I talked with him for a good 15 minutes explaining a lot of things, and then the article is only a side colon like this. Who's that? Oh, David Lametti is the minister that dismissed the in Verdun. So David Lametti, instead of taking 8 more months to be MP and to quit, he decided to accept another job to quit MP and to have this by-election. So the by-election was right before a general election. So that's the stupid thing. That was 1 year. Yeah, 1 year. He should have been 1 year more MP, but he just lost his minister seat and he was mad. So he quit and made the taxpayer pay money. So instead of saying that to the media, they chose to shit on us. And La Presse, a big newspaper in Montreal, decided to call me idiot inutile. So idiot, unuseful. Unuseful idiot. It's me. Da, 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 da. So I'm the unuseful idiot here. And so this journalist that we had 15-minute talks, finally, Ottawa, as the clock ticks down for Prime Minister to announce the date for the federal by-election in a suburban Montreal, an ongoing and record-breaking election process is ready once again, elongate the contest ballot. Under Canadian election law, the PMO must announce the date to fill the vacant seat in La Salle et Verdun between February 12 and July 30th. With that deadline just weeks away, member of the longest ballot committee, an activist group testing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's inaction on electoral reform, are eager to participate. We see the voting system is rigged for the winner, and the winners write the rules, said the Rhinoceros party leader Sébastien CoRhino, a regular participant in the election protest and lead organizer for the upcoming by-election. That's the only quote they took from me. The Conservative won a starting upset in the June 24th by-election in Toronto, with Dan Stewart besting Liberal candidate Leslie Church by 633 votes. So, oh yeah, that's the worst part is that there was a by-election right before. Was it the same year? We had that we had that by-election in Toronto St. Paul on June 24th. But since June 24th is national holiday in Quebec, they decided not to launch the by-election in Quebec, which they could have done at the same moment because they usually call all the by-election at the same moment for Election Canada to have, like right now, there is 3 different by-elections. And so we had this one where I was an independent candidate in Toronto. And at the end of the summer, I remember it was like, I think it was in the beginning of September, but we campaigned in August. And I was like, campaigning in August, this is so nice. We usually never do that because they never call elections in the summer. But they called this particular election in La Salle et Verdun in the summer. I don't know, whatever. Mm. I still have 0 votes, but Julie Saint-Amand got her first vote. She's going to be mad. She wanted to have 0 votes for the first time. It's not possible this time. Julie, you will have to try again next time. So, the longest ballot committee, 77 candidates garnered 932 votes, 125 less than the Green Party candidate, but more than 4 times as many votes as the PPC, People's Party of Canada, of Maxime Bernier. So, the longest ballot committee gathers more votes than Maxime Bernier in Toronto. Date Toronto, Saint-Paul. Merci, Jenny. Bonne soirée. So, that Toronto St. Paul election was very interesting because I was a leader of the Rhinoceros party, but I had a Rhino candidate campaigning in Toronto. So I was an independent candidate. And that was very funny because I made my campaign as independent, and the election was on June 24th, which is the national holiday, and national holiday of Quebec is the Saint Jean Baptiste Day. It's the day for independence. So I did indépendant, and I did my campaign indépendant. It was very important to party leader that's not candidate for his own party, but that's indépendant because we want the Quebec to be independent, but not with Nacho Facho, you know? Anyway, Nacho Facho, that's the kind of guys that will be elected in October in Quebec government election. Anyway. Mm. The, the People's Party of Canada is the real Maxime Bernier. The fake Maxime Bernier was only candidate once in both, but that was a funny one. You want me to talk about it? How did it happen? If you have questions, drop them in the chat. It's gonna be more fun. I'm gonna talk about Maxime Bernier now. So yeah, Maxime Bernier is a quite of a common name in Quebec. It's plausible, you know. So I just wrote to inside Facebook. I write Maxime Bernier, and I found there's a few dozens people with that name in Quebec. I'm like, okay. So I wrote them a really nice message that was, I've got a secret mission for you. If you accept, you will put your name on the ballot for the Rhinoceros Party in Canada and both, and blah blah. I don't know. Secret mission message. And at the bottom of the message was my name and my title and the thing. So I do copy paste Maxime Bernier, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. And then at one point, Facebook said you cannot send any more messages on Messenger for 1 hour. I said, okay. Uh, it was impossible to use Messenger at all, you know, even with my friends. I was like, okay, okay. And then the hour passed. I did, I think, 5 more. And then it wrote your messenger account blocked for 24 hours. And I was like, oh shit, you know, okay, good. So I wait. And I had written to about 70 people named Maxime Bernier. And I think only 3 or 4 replied. I think 3. Yeah. One didn't understand what was the thing, had no clue. The other one said, that's a very good idea. I like it, but I cannot do it because I want to be candidate in municipal election next year or 2 years, and I want to do municipal politics And I encourage you. I hope it's gonna work, but I cannot do it. It's not possible. It's me. And the third one said, "Okay, just call me with the phone number." So I was like, "Holy moly!" And I was pretty shy, but I took my phone, I dialed the number, and I said, "We'll see what's gonna happen." And that's funny because at first, so the person lived in Montreal. My plan at first was that this person would be, let's say, anonymous, or because most people, they don't want to put their names on the ballot. If you ask people in the street if they want to put their names in the ballot, most people will say no. But what happened is that this person actually was willing to put his name on the ballot and to have a public relations. So I said, okay, let's do it. He lived in Montreal, which is about three and a half hours from the riding. And we went uh, we went to give a press conference in Quebec City. We had a place, we rented the place. It was downtown Quebec City. It was a walking distance from Radio Canada office. They could have sent a journalist with a camera walking, like 200 meters, 300 meters from there. And we do the press conference with one candidate in Quebec City, me and Maxime Bernier from the Rhino Party. And no journalists show up. I was mad. I was fucking mad. I was like, another press conference in front of zero journalists. We'll still do the press conference just for fun and to practice ourselves to talk in the public in front of the bartender and whatever few people that were there. And we take one picture with my cell phone. I hate cell phones. I'm pretty bad with social network in general. I would need help. Anyway, so we take one picture with my cell phone and I put it on Twitter and I say, my new candidate in both, Maxime Bernier. And that's it. You just me and him shake hands. It took minutes. It was the headline of all the news outlets in Canada for the whole day. My phone didn't stop ringing. People wanted interviews with Maxime. So I was like, I okay, and I would give him the interviews, but it was pretty bad with me just because it was just a new rookie, and I was there. I was in the politics, and at one point I said maybe I should take the interviews or at least have a little bit of encadrement around you, whatever. So that day passed. It was okay. We went to both to gather signatures with him, with Maxime Bernier, and that was very funny. So you go inside the riding where Maxime Bernier is the MP because he was a conservative MP and minister, and his dad, Bernier, which I don't remember the name, was also a minister in the conservative government of Brian Mulroney and is a very, very known person in both. So the Bernier are very known in both. So we go to both and we take signatures for Maxime Bernier. That's funny. How are the people gonna react? So we there with the pad of sheet and we're like, hello, we're from the Rhinoceros party, and this is my candidate Maxime Bernier. We want to put him on the ballot. We need 100 signatures of people that live inside the riding. Would you like to encourage us? There was three reactions. One said, no, I don't want to sign nothing. Thank you. Have a nice day. And then yes, that's okay. Um, one people out of three was really mad. Like they were, oh, you're the guy that's having a Maxime Bernier against Maxime Bernier, and then they were like fucking mad. And there was a third type of people were like, give me that paper. Here, okay. I'll, I'll go inside to get my wife. And they would go in the house. They would go to their neighbors. But, hey, Jean, viens signer le papier, là. Hey, il y a le monde du Parti Rhinocéros ici, là. La gang du Parti Rhinocéros pour Maxime Bernier. Oui, oui, c'est eux autres. Viens signer le papier. Oh, ouais. So we got the 100 signatures. It was not very easy, we did canvassing, but we were able to get the signatures. And we finally put Maxime Bernier on the ballot. I was pretty proud. Maxime Bernier team was very mad at us. I know that they've been insistent with Election Canada to make sure that they would be the first on the ballot. And Election Canada said it's going to be the alphabetical orders of the party name. And they had it. They were first in the party name because it was People's Party of Parti Populaire and in French. And us, it was Parti Rhinocéros. So Rhinocéros comes after Populaire. But if it would have been an English writing, maybe we would have been first because it was Parti Rhinocéros Party, and them is People's Party. And so party is before people. But that never happened. And one of the funny thing about this election is that and the slug, I'm very proud. I found the slogan of Maxime Bernier. So our Rhino candidate had the slogan was "Prends pas de chance, vote pour les deux," which we could translate as "Don't take a chance, vote for both." And both. I need to do the TH with my tongue out of the mouth. We never put the tongue out of the mouth in French, but we have to do it in English. I've been teach that by someone. So don't take a chance, vote for both. So we have the result of the election where Maxime Bernier, both Maxime Bernier lost the election, and we will never know how many people actually voted for both. But I'm pretty sure there's at least one, but probably a few votes that of people that voted for both. And Maxime Bernier lost his election, and our Maxime Bernier candidate had successfully the biggest score of any rhinoceros candidate in that election. We had that was 2015 or 2019. I would say 2015. I think we had 28, 27, 28 candidates, and he had by a fair statistical significative margin. He had the biggest load of votes. He almost got 2% of the votes in his riding, and most Rhino candidates get between 0.2 to 0.8% of the vote, with an average of 0.6. So he had 3 times the average of what the Rhino candidates had. I think the second was 1% or 0.95. We will go to my screen sharing is still not working. Election Canada website. Nathalie Sinclair Gagné from the Bloc Québécois is in advance of 9 votes over Tatiana Auguste, Liberal, that served for about 6 months inside Parliament before the Supreme Court of Canada said, "You're not MP, the election was rigged." And both are trying to win the riding. I have 0 votes right now. Marc Moutar from the Rhino Party has 8 votes. 3 of our candidates have 2 votes. Nicolas Champagne, Samuel Ducharme, Laurie Gobble, and Balloon. Have you seen what's uh I have no idea. I think my fingers triggered some balloons from Facebook. I don't know. I have no idea. And so the longest ballot committee has about as many votes as the popular party, People's Party from Maxime Bernier, which is candidate Maria Cantore has 18 votes. So right now, the um, the ballot is closed for 1 hour and a half, and we still have 35 out of 200 boxes open. So it's not so bad. I mean, it's very, very, very close to what's happening in Scarborough and University Rosedale ridings. They do have a little bit more boxes open, but 28% of boxes open, 23% of boxes open, and Terrebonne is 26% of boxes open. So it's funny that the commentator on TV and the radio and the newspaper, they say you're gonna slow down the process, the electoral, you're destroying our beautiful democracy. But you know what? This reform, this voting system should have been changed 50 years ago. Why didn't you do it? Because you don't care, because the MPs vote the electoral law and they will not vote anything that will makes them lose a little bit of market. We're in a capitalist system where you need to exploit the maximum of the power. I'm um I'm here for an hour and a half. I will take a 5 minute breaks. Um I would like do I have questions? I'm tired. If people ask me question, I would be very happy to talk about anything. Uh I did prepare a few things. I said them. I don't want to repeat myself. I've talked about the reform of the voting system. I've talked about the medias. I've talked about the Rhino Party a little bit. I could talk about my music things that are coming in the next month. And I wanted to reveal my new website. There's only two people on this live stream. So my artist website is ananode.com, which is Furring Glows in the comments spent his teenage years in Terrebonne and asked the few friends who still live there to vote for him or her or them. Fingers crossed. Um, anana.com. My website is not up yet. I just created the blank HTML page today, which I've put in yellow and uploaded. And I was pretty happy. I didn't use artificial intelligence to do code. I just used my old HTML knowledge I have from high school and college. I remembered just enough to be able to wrote that little web page. So we're gonna go to anotherday.com. Another day. It's yellow because that's my new color. I come from the red. I'm going to the yellow. I'm quitting federal politics. I'm quitting Canada. I'm not quitting. Well, I live in Quebec. So, um, site web de l'artiste Sébastien CoRhino. Le concept artistique sera bientôt révélé. Watch out. Revenez visiter le site web prochainement. Premier single, 1er juillet. So, my first single on July 1st. Tout est dans tout. J'ai out. J'ai out. I'm very excited about this thing. And yeah. Mm-mm-mm. I don't see other questions in the chat. I will, if you have questions, please ask questions. I've said what I had to do today. Le plus long bulletin de vote, 90 centimètres. Thanks, Brian W22 for W3 schools. I remember being on W3 schools website about 20 years ago when I was doing stupid things with the internet. Whoa, what the fuck is this? I'm opening old archive documents because today is my last election. I will not be a candidate in any more election in Canada. I've done that like 10, 12 times, and I've been leader of the party for 10 years. Wow, that's a poster of the prime ministers of Canada. That's it finishes with Stephen Harper. Stephen Harper, I shake his hand once, and it was my birthday actually. I was in Yukon. He came for a press conference, and we waited at the exit. And I just, yeah, we were like protesting shit, and he came to see us, and he shake my hand. Okay, beautiful papers here. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, that year, Mississauga Lakeshore by-election. I wanted to open a tax haven by the lakeshore because you know all the tax haven they're in paradisiac places with the sea, and I said Mississauga Lakeshore is perfect paradisiac place to have a tax haven, Lamborghini dealer, Porsche dealer, um, business open. What the fuck? I think this is YouTube. Uh, yes. What else can I do with YouTube? Okay, I'm gonna try this. Yellow heart, red heart. Oh, ça fonctionne. Okay, what else can I do with ananas, pineapple, another day? Okay, angine de poitrine. Bon. So we finally never got elected. I didn't open any tax haven, but that was my idea to open little tax haven everywhere in Canada so we could keep the foreign money local in every community of Canada. Um, please tell me why I never got elected as Prime Minister of Canada with such good ideas. I also promised I would accelerate climate changes so we could have beaches on the three oceans. We could recreate an habitat for rhinos because we know that rhinos live in hot climate and we don't have appropriate climate for rhinos inside Canada. And I also promised to shorten the Canadian winter. That was one of my key promise back in the days. What I said is that a very simple Canadian winter is very long, is very hard, it's cold, and it's expensive. Expensive, why? Because it breaks everything. It breaks cars, it breaks trucks, it breaks machinery, it breaks building, it breaks legs, ankles, it breaks hips. So, very dangerous and expensive Canadian winter. What we're gonna do, a rhinoceros majority government will shorten the Canadian winter by taking December, January, February, three months. It will put them at 28 days fixed every year. We will take the 6 days um, that rest, or 7 days on leap years. We take these 6 or 7 days and we put them in summer vacations for the middle class. You give that right there, and that way the winter is shorter by 6 or 7 days or on leap years. And um the yes, and you see, YouTube is agree. Why don't you elect me? Why did I never got elected? It's done. My electoral career is never gonna come back. And we give the middle class 1 6 to 7 days extra vacations in the summer. Public safety. Rename black ice to neon yellow ice. God damn. Never did that. MP. Promote fitness by having MPs cross the floor daily. No more CoRhino on the ballot. No, I was candidate on 10 or 11 elections, and 3 times I ran for Prime Minister of Canada as leader of the party. And Senate, you remember earlier in the live stream, I told you that in 2015 I promised Lotto Senate to randomly choose Canadians for Senate. Here I have a different promise. I'm in Mississauga Lakeshore, maybe 2022. I'm gonna sell seats in the public tender process to the lowest bidder. Cost effective Senate. Cost effective Senate. I know people that would do it for like 30K a year. And right now they make 5 times that amount. Fucking expensive. What else do we have? Rhino, tax haven, Canadian, same thing. So beautiful archive here. I've been a candidate in Saint Boniface, Saint Vital, Manitoba. I've been to court against the Queen, and no joke, I I filed a report against the Queen of Canada, which was Queen Elizabeth II at the moment, at the time. And here it is. Cour supérieure du Québec, Sébastien CoRhino, demandeur, contre la reine, représentée par le directeur général des élections. So I really went against La Reine in court, and I won. I won my case. Beautiful, beautiful. Who else can say that you've won in court against Queen Elizabeth II, Queen of Canada? Well, I did. This is some receipts. Signatures. Québec. Québec 2019. That was the time I was candidate against. I was a candidate against Jean-Yves Duclos. That was a very interesting thing because Jean-Yves Duclos was the MP of Quebec and still is right now the MP of Quebec riding. In the 2015 election, Jean-Yves Duclos won a really close race with 4 candidates, and he won his election with 29% of the vote. And I say 29% of the vote because it's not average. It's when you put numbers. Anyway, the closest number, because it was 28 dot something. So it was under 29% of the vote, and I said, if 71% of the people in your riding they voted against you How can you be a MP? How can you be the representative of the people in that riding? And that's why I went to. I don't like the reflect in my glasses. Why do you are a minister in the cabinet of Justin Trudeau, and how legitimate is your power? How legitimate of a minister you are, Jean-Yves Duclos? So in 2019, after this election of 29% of the vote, I went against him and I said, you were elected with 29% of the vote, and I'm gonna make you lose, and you're gonna lose, and I'm gonna win. Sebastian CoRhino, leader of the Rhinos Party of Canada, I'm gonna win with with less than 29% of the vote. That's what I said. I didn't win this election because I never was corrupted. And one rule in Canadian politics is never corrupted, never elected. And that's a very, very simple trick for any politicians that listen to me today. If you do not want to be corrupted, just don't get elected. It's very simple. It works for anybody. Not elected, not corrupted. Yeah, not corrupted, not elected. I know that. I did 29. I did 19 years of Canadian politics, 10 years as a party leader, and I never was corrupted. That's a wonderful thing. So Jean-Yves Duclos did finally win his 2019 election with 33% of the vote, and just because the NDP was not strong enough after 20 when he got elected, the NDP was stronger because of the Orange Wave 4 years before. But when it was the Orange Wave 8 years before, the NDP was not very strong in Quebec anymore. So I have a question in the chat. Many CPCs MPs are quite fit nowadays. That's a very good comment, my friend Führer Klaus. If I'm not on Twitter anymore, but if I would have Twitter, I should bring back that that promise. Keep the MPs fit by making them cross the floor daily. Tabarnak, Corriveau. T'as pas de bon sens. Why is my laptop running on battery? This is plugged in. Anyway, I don't care because if we lose connection, um, I'm not out of battery. I'm not out of battery. So it's not gonna happen. I have this other archive folder of Rhino things. Red Canada, like in the blue Quebec. What is interesting here? Le Canada n'est pas un pays ordinaire. Alors, il était normal qu'il soit dirigé par des gens qui le sont. Eh, that's a philosophy of Rhinoceros. Former Rhino leader Brian Salmi would be proud of your contribution. Thank you. Thank you. I never met Brian Salmi. Why did you go to court against the Queen? Oh, I will. I can answer. That's a boring thing, but that's. I can answer that. I just check if there's other questions. No. Okay. Yeah. If you have questions, please ask in the chat. I run of my content, and I'm very happy to talk about my 20 years in federal politics or whatever else you would like to talk about. So what happened is that once I filled a report after the election, you have to fill a financial report to Election Canada. It's a very boring thing and it's a little shitty paperwork, but that's how Canadian bureaucracy works. And I could talk. Oh, that would be a good subject. I'm gonna talk about Canadian bureaucracy later. Where's my pencil? You remember, I need to talk about Money and political parties. So I filled my financial report a little bit too late. So Election Canada had to put me on a list of ineligible candidates. And the only way to get out of the ineligible candidate list, which will prevent you from being a candidate to a federal election for the rest of your life, is to go to court and to ask the court to postpone the date where you can where you will have to put in your financial report, because that's election law, so you need the court to change that date because the date is written in the law, which is like, I think, 4 months later than the election. So what happened is that I wrote to Election Canada and said, what do I do? And they said, you need to go to court. And I said, okay, how do I do that? I never went to court. I know nobody. So Election Canada put me in contact with one of their lawyers, like a lawyer that works for Election Canada with the Election Canada email address, And this lawyer just said, you have to go to the Cour supérieure du Québec. You have to fill the paper. Here's a template, and once you have it, you rewrite to me, and I'm gonna send a letter to the court that says that Election Canada does not oppose to your presentation of this thing, and you should win the case. And I said, okay, thank you. So I had the template given by a lawyer by Election Canada and the instructions on how to go to court against them. And since the queen is the head of the country, what's the name? Chef d'État. In French, it's chef d'État, chief of state of Canada, maybe in English. I don't know. So, but the chief of state of Canada is right now it's a king, but it used to be a queen. For 70 years, there was a queen, Queen Elizabeth II. So I've put my request to the court that I was against the queen represented by Election Canada. So always funny to go in court. And I remember I'm an artist, I'm a musician. And once we had to sign a contract with a place to give a show that was part of Park Canada. So the place we were renting to give the show is a lighthouse. Actually, we did projection on the lighthouse with music band live, and uh, um, and I had to sign a contract with the Parc Canada, and the contract was signed by the Queen, represented by name of the employee of Parc Canada. So I signed a contract with the Queen, represented by someone else, but and I remember this contract for doing music on the lighthouse. It was forbidden to use a helicopter. So, so you have poor musicians that are paid like 2 beer tickets. They are forbidden to use a helicopter. So we did not use any helicopters on the show that day. Hi Seb, love the story. Thank you, Long Ballot. Thanks you, Long Ballot, for being here and to organize all this crazy stuff we did. Do you have any other question? I said I would like to talk about political parties and money. Maybe some of you already know that, but I think it would be public concern that we bring that to the people, that the every political candidate in the federal election and every political party that will have more than 10% of the vote in their riding will have half of their expenses refunded by the government of Canada to the political party. That means that right now we have the Bloc Québécois and the Liberals that are both over 10%. And the result we're looking right now with my screen sharing not working. So these two, they maybe spent $100,000 because that was the limit. They spent $100,000 in radio ads, TV ads, plastic on the post, plastic in the city, newspaper, whatever, Facebook. They just throw thousands of dollars straight to California, to Facebook revenues for, and they don't even pay taxes because they have tax haven. So you take half of that amount that the Bloc Québécois and the Liberals just paid to make advertisement in the last weeks. You take half of that amount and it's taken from the taxpayers straight to the political parties as a refund. So we just sent maybe 10, 20, $30,000 to Facebook for one by election. We will go to Scarborough Southwest right now, where we do have also two candidates over. We have a liberal candidates and a conservative candidate that are over 10% of the vote. Why is balloons? Balloons. Okay, balloons. And in University Rosedale, we do have three candidates over 10% of the votes. So these three candidates will have half of their expenses refunded. And if we go back to 2019, no, to 2015, Jean-Yves Duclos in Quebec City, there was four candidates with more than 20% of the vote. We had four candidates between 20 and 30% of the vote, and that's why Jean-Yves Duclos was elected with only 29% of the vote on that election. So if we go back to Terrebonne, we have more than half the voting boxes open. Oh no, sorry. Oh yeah, yeah. Uh, I'm not in the good. We have 45% of the boxes open. Sorry, my view was wrong. With 45% of the boxes open, I can tell you that Sébastien CoRhino still has 0 votes, which would make it my lowest score ever. And the funny thing here is that the biggest score ever I do get is 28. Sherbrooke, my first time I ran as a candidate in the federal election with 458 votes. That was my biggest score. And if everything goes fine tonight, I will end the night with 0 votes. End of my political career. Uh, how did you first get your name to be accepted as CoRhino by Election Canada? That's a very interesting question. Um, you have to prove Election Canada that the name you want to put on the ballot is the name you are publicly known as. And so, for example, if I don't know, you're an artist and your name, well, Jack White, I think it's his real name, but whatever. Mon Serge, or I don't know, Lady Gaga. And you say, I'm publicly known with this name. There's a few conditions to fill, but you can have this name on the ballot. And it's not very hard to get. You need at least one web page, for example, a social media thing, and you need one external source that can be, for example, a newspaper article or I don't know what else. But in my case, it's a newspaper article, which is not very hard to have. But If you would have to have a name that's different on the ballot, you would need to get a local newspaper to print that name out before the election is called. And so you do a little press conference or press release, and you say the name, the candidate with the name will be candidate, blah blah blah. And yeah, I'm still opening old folders. Brian Salmi ran as Satan. Yeah, Satan. Yeah, crazy thing. In the 80s, the rhinos were pretty wild. We had a few candidates. We had Obélix candidate. We had Chatouille le clown, which is like Giggles the clown or something like that. And we had a few candidates with really really funny names. Oh no, I got one vote. Really? Oh, I'm gonna contest it. I'm gonna contest it. Nobody voted for me. Damn. Oh, I got one vote. Someone took time to write CoRhino. Oh, this guy has a really funny name. Okay, I got a vote. It still is my lowest score ever, I think. I hope so. So I'm opening archives. Oh, I don't know what year is this, but this is pretty old. It's a triangle. Angine de poitrine. Le triangle jaune. Angine de poitrine. Yellow triangle. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I knew it was coming, and these paper. What is this? Party, discours, musique, art, discussion. That's pretty old. I would date this to be like 2015. It could be 2019 also. Jeu de cartes, playing cards. I wanted to make a playing cards, but very absurd concept mixed with my Lotto biography. So right now, I need to write my Lotto biography. In fact, I began. I began. I would even I could say I'm advanced. I would say I have more than 20% of my Lotto biography written. I need to find an editor in Canada that would like to print my Lotto biography, because I don't know nothing about the editors. And since I don't live in Montreal, the people in Montreal, they usually hate me because it's a very close-minded circle of people, just because they don't know me because I'm not there. So I would like that this Lotto biography from a Quebecer be published in Canada instead of in Quebec. Like, people in Quebec would be mad, would be real mad. So if you know anybody that's a publisher, editor in Quebec, put put them in contact with me. This book is going to be good. It's going to be funny. It's going to be intelligent, and it's going to be relevant, and we will sell. Well, I guarantee you that we will sell. And if you need me to do conferences in university, college stuff, I will go, and we will have a lot of fun, and this thing is going to be a success. I know I don't say big thing, but it's going to be more fun than publishing the whatever. Anyway, I've talked a lot. I've talked for like 2 hours now, and I'm pretty tired. If you've missed everything. You've missed everything. If you have a question, you can ask question in the chat right now. I would take 5 minute break, answer the questions in the chat, and I will close this live feed after that. Thank you, merci beaucoup. I take 5 minutes. I leave you with my one of my closest friend, um, Justin, and I will come back. Yeah, 3 people left. Thanks, 3 people, for being there. Four people. Wow. Reminder that if you have bitcoins you want to spend, I do have paintings I need to sell in order to pay for my musical hip hop rap career I'm launching later this year. Okay, so what are we gonna do now? I'm gonna answer the questions in the chat. Je vais remplir les questions dans le sondage. Ça, c'était une excellente traduction propulsée par l'intelligence naturelle de mon cerveau. If you want me to speak English or French, si vous voulez que je parle français ou anglais, just tell it in the chat. Ask questions in the chat. I will answer questions in the chat. Je vais répondre aux questions dans le chat. And after that, I will go to sleep. J'ai commencé à parler il y a plus de 2 heures déjà. Donc, ça va me faire plaisir de répondre aux questions dans le chat. It's a pleasure to talk with you. I've talked a lot already about a lot of different subjects, and if there's something you want me to repeat, I don't mind because maybe you were not there when I said it. Alors, you got a vote. Oui, tabarnak. Oui, tabarnak. On va aller voir les résultats. My screen sharing doesn't work, so I cannot share to you. I've got one vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 independent candidates got one vote. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 got 2 votes, which makes 12. 12 plus 7, 19. Plus 4, ça fait 23 votes. Qui est très proche du 29 votes de Marc Moutard du Parti Rhinocéros et qui s'éloigne tranquillement des 61 votes de Maria Cantore du Parti populaire People's Party de Maxime Bernier. C'est encore lui le chef. Il doit faire du cash. Il doit demander beaucoup de dons à ses partisans, ce que nous, on ne faisait pas. English. Probably Maxime Bernier has a really good wage because he must be asking a lot of donation to his fans, and that's how a political party make money at his level. Because if he's leader for that much time, and before that he was a minister, so he had the big job with the big money. Um, he probably makes a lot of money by asking for donations from the fans of the party, from the partisans. A lot of zero votes. Lot of zero votes in the independent candidates. Looks like it's the worst score we will ever get. That's what I think. I don't really care. The result will probably be under 50% of turnout. Probablement moins de 50% des gens vont être allés voter. If we look at the 2 Ontario by-elections, they probably will have around 30% turnout. That means that 30% of people registered to vote will have been to go to vote, and 70% of people will just don't care. That's an average I did with my head very fast while reading these calculations, but we could check it out right now. If I had a visual, it would be much more fun. I was supposed to have screen sharing, which I don't. Now I have questions. I'm thinking I will be repeating as a unity candidate where everyone agrees. What the fuck? Sorry, there was a window over your text. I could not read it anymore. I'm thinking I will be repeating as a unity candidate where everyone agrees not to vote for John Francis O'Flynn after 54% polls reporting. This John O'Flynn is impatient to get its first vote. John Francis O'Flynn is is pretty low in the alphabetical order and also has 0 votes. So, yeah, if you're lucky enough, all the people below you will get at least 1 vote and you will be at the rock bottom of this election chart, John Francis. And if you're at the rock bottom of this election chart, you can say you are the heaviest candidate and the stronger foundational concrete person on this ballot, and that you were the only legitimate candidate in this election, and that's why they didn't vote for you. You're the master of authenticity, honesty, and you were not corrupted enough to get a vote. That's how that's how life is, John Francis O'Flynn. But still has 40% of the boxes to open. You seem like you really want to have that vote. I don't know why. I did actually wanted to get my 0 vote score, which I did not. I wasn't able in 11 elections, federal elections. I was not able to get 0 votes and not to get elected neither. Not one nor the other. Okay. I'm the second last in alphabetical order. Oh, we have a Brian Wang here. I feel like it's gonna be something like it. Um, how many votes you got? Because you Brian Wang, 1 vote. Thank you, Mr. Miss or non-binary person named Wang for being on this ballot, and I think you were on a few other ballots. I will go and take out something from my wardrobe. You will love, all of you, the 5 people. Stay there because you will see a really long ballot coming out of that place. 15 seconds. That's the wait screen. Okay, that's a really long ballot. That's a really long ballot. And Brian Wang is not on this one, but we secured the last position with uh Tina. Thank you, Tina. Tina Tina Giroux Zoo that prevented Grigory Yablunovsky from the People's Party of Maxime Bernier from being the last. Okay, that's a very interesting run. I would like this story will be written in my autobiography. Maxime Bernier is a ridiculous People's Party leader, ex-conservative minister, stupid guy, and he played with the long ballot committee. He played with the long ballot. He never told us, but we know he played with it. He knew in advance where would be the writings where we would do it, and he probably has a spy in our list of wannabe candidates that never was on the ballot, and he put his candidate always either at the top or at the bottom of the long ballot. He had one or two candidates begin with the A. In this riding, he had this Yablonowski, and every time the candidate comes from the riding, so he put a lot of effort into finding people that would fit either at the top of the bottom of the ballot and to come from the riding and to agree to be in the People's Party candidate. It's crazy. So this one we lost him, and another time he was second on the ballot because we had someone before him in the A's. And from that time he never was again able to get the top or the bottom. We always had someone that would prevent us. So Brian Wang is one of the with the real winner here on this ballot is Alan Weinberg. If I would say it in German, I would say Weinberg, Alan Weinberg. But maybe in Canada you say Weinberg. Berg is European Swedish name for mountain. Berg, angine de poitrine. Oh, j'aime trop ça. So you have this yellow triangle that's Berg. 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 Okay, my next song will be named Berg. And yeah, so I'm currently writing songs in German and Deutsch. Ich sprich Deutsch. And I will release a short album of 4 songs in German. So that's part of my my stupid things of a Rhino Canadian singer songwriter. Tell us more about Angine. This person probably knows. Yeah, you want to know if I'm behind the thing. That's one of the funny things. When I've seen the videos on Key XP when it was released, and I was like, oh, that's good. It's I'm a musician, so I was like, oh, that's good. That this band has this Key XP live session. It's gonna be good because I know these sessions are a lot listened. The Key XP videos are really great videos. There's a lot. Just go and check it out. If you don't used to, just click on whatever. You will find African bands, but bands from all over the world, and they're great. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is gonna be good visibility for them. I didn't thought it would be that big. But in the beginning, after the Key XP video began to be a lot listened, 1, 2, 3 millions of views. After a week or two, in February, I have a few old friends that ask me. They send me a texto and they say, "Is it you? Is it you inside the suit?" And I was like, "No, I'm not. I cannot play guitar that good, and, because my close friends from old, they know I'm a musician first, and they know I'm a crazy artist. It's very close. What they do is very, very close to what I am. And the proof here is that I'm in the 2015 random papers open on my desk. Right now, it's fucking messy because I just opened all the papers in the last 2 hours of this. So the first random paper on my desk has a triangle, two beautiful triangles on it. And so angine de poitrine. So my close friend thought I was in the suit. I said, no, I'm not in the suit. But what was very funny is last week I go to Easter. So I go Easter in my family. I'm at my dad's. And then we go for a family gathering at my sister's. And so my other sibling arrive at my sister's place, and my sibling look at me and they say, "Oh, you there? I thought you were on tour. You you're not in the suit of the new band là, that's c'est pas toi ça dans le suit là qui pogne là avec le nouveau band là, comment ça s'appelle?" So my sibling, my actual sibling, thought I was in the fucking suit on tour somewhere around the planet. And I was like, wow, wow, okay. So no, I'm not in the suit, but I have to say that the guitarist is a friend, but not only a friend. We come from the same planet. Me and the guitarist come from the same planet. We've played music together a lot. We've played music a lot, and yeah, true, true. We've played music together. His name is Kun, because I'm not gonna reveal its name. I know because that's not what they want. You know, it's I want to be famous. Good. They don't want to. Well, they just it's really got a lot of step more than what I thought it would be. So I could say stories about whatever tours we did, but I want to protect their anonymity. But what is nice is I was talking with them with they were building that guitar bass with 24 frets, and I was like, oh, this is nice, like microtonal shit and blah blah blah. And I've seen the show before; it was cool and everything. And I was like, oh, this is a great show. And but it was like all the show I play or I that I see a lot of this kind of music is we're 15 people in a room. We don't expect to become international famous with that kind of music. But now I'm gonna write my songs. I'm gonna have hip hop songs in French, in English, and Espanol, and Deutsch, and I'm gonna do this shit. If you have bitcoins, please buy one of these artworks. I really need to sell arts because I have a lot. I don't have a lot, but I have a few. And my last rhino, I think I have one rhino left for sale, and I will have no more rhinos because when I've quit the leadership of the Rhino Party in 2024, I've said I will not paint any more rhinos. So the people who owns Rhino right now, they will increase in price uh, because they're gonna get rarer. And there's one left for sale. For inquiries, please contact me. I will check the chat one last time to see if there's any more questions. And maybe. Oh, the Liberal is over the Bloc Québécois. Whoa. Whoa, that's an interesting soirée électorale. Longest ballot, I will send you the link. Okay, no. Uh, Go, Brian. It's all up from here. You're at 2 votes now. That probably is me. Yeah, it's me. I'm at 2 votes now. That's okay. I can take it. Didn't get my 0. Tabarnak. Tabarnak. Je m'en fiche. Je m'en fiche. I don't care. That's a French I don't care. We don't spell fish like this usually, but when you're in the sea and you have Tim Hortons fishes around you, Tim Horton garbage fishes. I need to do repair on this one. But for 1 bitcoins, I will repair and ship it to you. Okay. C'est stupid. By the way, I saw a YouTube video that showed the list of candidates at voting locations in Terrebonne, and apparently Alan Weinberg, Alan Weinberg, who's the last alphabetically, is the only one name on the very back page. Okay, that fucking paper. I want to see it. And if that is true, it would be enough for this election to be remake. I mean, imagine it's the liberal that would have been there. Imagine the liberal name would have been on the back of the paper alone. They would go to court tomorrow morning and the election would be declared void. I'm sure of that. Sure, certain. Tabarnak. But it's just the independent named Alan Weinberg. Alan Weinberg. In the Québécois, they will say Alan Weinberg. Berg. Berg. Iceberg. Montagne de glace. Ice Mountain. Oh, ça l'a fait ça? Je sais pas pourquoi. Ah! YouTube. Patate. Cœur. Je sais pas comment les autres. Tantôt, oh oui, je sais. Ah merde, ça n'a pas marché. Tantôt, ça marchait. On faisait ça. Il y avait un effet spécial. Ceux qui l'ont pas vu encore, if you didn't see this special effect, still, we will, sometimes we'll have it. I think I do this. No, didn't get it. Okay, thank you. Longest ballot actually alone. What's Alon? Okay. Can you talk us more about Engine? I did. I send you the link on Blue Sky. I think YouTube auto-filtered my chat. Tabarnak. Hey, what a great time to be alive. It's free press and censorship. Free press and censorship. Yep, 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 yep. That's a good reggae song. Hey, my new reggae song. Free press and censorship. Yup, 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 yup. Yup, 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 yup. Free press and censorship. Yup, 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 yup. Free press and censorship. Oh, yeah. We've got the free press. We've got the free press. We've got the censorship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who took a toy? Oh, oh, oh. I don't know what's the lyrics of this song, but I think it's coming close to your ears soon. Yeah, we're gonna write in the newspaper everything we wanna write, everything we want. We don't care whatever it's real or just fake. We'll just make it fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it. That's the new slogan of my newspaper. I have to go to bed. Yeah, me too. Thank you all. Is there a current leader? Yes, it's Chinook Morin. You can find him on YouTube. I wish good luck to the Rhino Party. I've quit the Rhino Party, but it's not because I quit. It's because I quit the politics. I stay close to the Rhinos and I will help them when I can. But for now, I have to do my shit in this music industry. I hate to call it an industry, but that's what it is. And I want to be part of it. If you want to help, follow me on Twitter, but I don't have Twitter. Follow me in the street, but I don't know where I'm going. Do not follow me. Don't do that. Merci beaucoup à tout le monde qui est venu sur ce live stream. Je vais maintenant aller me coucher après 2h30 à discuter. C'était très bien, c'était très bon. Merci d'avoir été avec moi. Bisous, bisous. Et mon site web, ananad.com. Eh oui, ça s'en vient. Je vais l'écrire dans les commentaires. I want to go out of the social media someday. The best way to contact me to stay in touch will be through my website ananade.com. It's coming. It's coming. Yo, yo, yo. Jaune, angine de poitrine. Ah, ça n'a pas rapport même. En tout cas, de prendre un screenshot? Screenshot de ça? Je sais pas. Ok, yo, yo, yo. Trop bien.